There are celebrities who have achieved fame and money in their respective fields. Yet they have struggled with poverty long before their popularity and market worth skyrocketed. Here are the 10 celebrities who went from rags to riches. Leighton Meester. $5 million. Leighton Meester may have little trouble portraying the affluent, spoilt brat, Blair Waldorf, but Waldorf's fictional childhood pales in comparison to Meester's own. Meester's mother gave birth to her while spending time in prison, and she was raised by her grandmother at Mango Island, Florida for most of her upbringing. When Meester's mother was released, the two moved to New York, where Leighton began a modeling career. They moved again in 2007, this time to Los Angeles, where she eventually found work in the entertainment industry. She has 3 films coming out this year in which she will star. Hilary Swank. $40 million. Hilary Swank had to struggle with poverty long before she became the million-dollar baby. Swank grew up in a trailer park in Washington, where she and her 2 siblings were cared for solely by her mother. Swank's father abandoned her when she was a child. When her mother's job was lost, the family decided to take a risk and relocate to California. Swank and her family lived in their car for a while before they could afford an apartment. Swank got her big break when she landed the lead part in Boys Don't Cry. With $40 million in the bank, the award-winning actress now lives well beyond her former state. Sarah Jessica Parker. $90 million. Sarah Jessica Parker. 49. May be a veteran of the film industry, but she and her family lived on poverty for many years before landing a role in the TV show Sex and the City. Parker noted in an interview that her family rarely celebrated Christmas, birthdays, and other family occasions when she was growing up in Nelsonville, Ohio. She vividly recalls their phone lines being cut and their electricity being turned off because they couldn't pay the bill. Parker's net worth has increased to $90 million today. Jim Carrey. $150 million. Jim Carrey's current financial situation is a vast cry from his adolescent years. Carrey and his family were middle-class Canadians who had a good existence until his father lost his job. The Carreys had no choice but to live out of their van. At the age of 15, Jim had to drop out of school and work as a security guard and janitor. He went on the comedy circuit and received a slew of offers. Carrey is most known for his roles in the comedies The Mask, Cable Guy, and Dumb and Dumber. His current net worth is estimated to be $150 million. Demi Moore. $150 million. One of the sexiest cougars in Hollywood. Despite her years in show business, Demi Moore still has it. However, she had a tumultuous and destitute past. She had to live in trailer parks with 2 alcoholic stepfathers. She decided she'd had enough at the age of 16 and moved out of their house to pursue a modeling career. She engaged in theatrical classes at the age of 17 to improve her acting abilities. She began her career in the entertainment industry in 1984, but it wasn't until 1986 that she got her big break, starring in the film About Last Night. Moore is now worth $150 million more than he was before. Leonardo Dicaprio. $200 million. It's hard to imagine Leonardo DiCaprio not enjoying in his millions. $200 million to be exact. After a succession of blockbuster Hollywood hits like Titanic and The Gangs of New York. However, Most people are unaware of DiCaprio's early life as a destitute teen desperate to escape the rough streets of Los Angeles. At an early age, DiCaprio has seen the effects of violence, prostitution, and narcotics on people. He never wanted to end up like the majority of his peers, so he worked his way up the corporate ladder. Shania Twain, $350 million. The country music star has accumulated a $350 million fortune. Shania, on the other hand, had a difficult childhood in Timmins, Ontario. Her stepfather and mother had a violent relationship. Shania's mother eventually placed her and her siblings in a foster home due to a lack of food in the family. Shania learned to hunt and survive in the cold Canadian winter to cope with the hardships. Shania's mother and stepfather died in an accident when she was 21, leaving her to care for her siblings. Shania moved to Nashville, Tennessee, to pursue a singing career once they were mature enough to fend for themselves. And, as they say, the rest is history. Tom Cruise, $500 million. In the entertainment industry, a Hollywood A-lister who commands respect and a large talent fee. It's difficult to envision Tom Cruise living in poverty. Despite the fact that his father was an electrical engineer and his mother was a special education teacher, both of which were well-paid occupations, Cruise's mother abandoned the family when he was 11 years old, and his father died not long after. Cruise made a name for himself by starting at the bottom of the entertainment barrel, orphaned and poor. He is now one of Hollywood's most sought-after leading males, with a net worth of $500 million. J.K. Rowling, $1 billion. When Joanne Rowling wrote the popular Harry Potter series, she hit the jackpot. Rowling had to overcome poverty long before she became interested in wizards, witches, and magic. Rowling produced manuscripts by hand in cafes with her kid by her side as a single mother who could barely feed herself. Rowling had to rely on welfare to make ends meet. Her agency once informed her that writing children's books would never pay off. Her agency, I'm guessing, had no idea how popular Rowling's books would become. The well-known author's net worth has risen to $1 billion. Oprah Winfrey, $2.9 billion. It's no surprise that Oprah Winfrey is at the top of this list. Her background as a disadvantaged youngster from a poor family is well known. She began her life with her grandmother, then moved in with her unsupportive mother, and lastly with her father, who instilled a rigid business sense in her. It's a tremendous endeavor to list Oprah's highlights from poverty to being one of the wealthiest African Americans in the United States. But, without a doubt, her narrative is inspirational. Oprah Winfrey currently owns a media empire worth $2.5 billion. Which of these rags to riches stories from these celebs is your favorite? Please tell us in the comments section below. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting facts about your favorite celebrities.